Hello everyone! Today we'll be taking a look at the 8Bitdo Modkit for the Nintendo GameCube controller. This kit changes the motherboard on your controller, transforming it from a wired controller into a wireless one. Similar to the Nintendo 64 Modkit that I've shown here previously. And I have to say the 64 version is awesome. It charges via USB-C and has an internal rumble motor. It even works flawlessly with the original Mr. FPGA and the Nintendo 64. To install this modkit, I'll be using my original Smash 4 controller. There is also a Gamecube Receiver that is sold separately. We'll be testing this one as well. In the receiver box, you get a tiny USB-C cable and the receiver. And in the modkit box, you get a screwdriver to open the GameCube controller, these new analog stick caps, and by the way, these caps looks very good, way better than any other third-party cap. If 8Bitdo sells more of these on their official website, I definitely gonna buy more. There's a cable for charging the controller, and these adapter wires for the rumble motor. Here's the motherboard of the GameCube controller. As you can see, it has Hall effect sticks, and the battery has 300 mAh, which lasts about 6 hours according to the package. The Hall effect modules are from Silver, and in the back we have the Bluetooth chip and 2 ports on the top. There is also a separate board for the C-stick, and this adapter is inserted in the hole of the wire to charge the controller. Here are some quick instructions on how to install it, and the manual for the controller. There is also the detailed instructions for the kit as well. Let's start the installation by disassembling the controller. You'll have to remove the original motherboard, and this is a good opportunity to clean your controller as well. Take out all of the rubber membranes and buttons. And on the original shell, we'll be removing the rumble motor. Then we're gonna take the wire adapters and insert the heat shrink tubes like this. Now let's solder the wires correctly, red to red and black to black. You can do this without a soldering iron, but I don't recommend it because the connection won't be very solid. And this kind of soldering is not that hard, it's just a tiny drop. After you've done with the soldering, slide the heat shrink tubes over the connections. And use a hairdryer to shrink them. You can also do this with a lighter, but a hairdryer is safer. I also took the time to wash my shells, and now it's time to finish the installation. You'll need to remove this final part from the original motherboard. Just push these pins and remove the plastic piece. This mod is reversible and you can store the original motherboard in case you want to turn it back to original. Install the plastic piece on the 8Bitdo motherboard just like it was on the original. Insert the rumble motor and connect it to the motherboard. Don't forget to attach the C-stick to the motherboard too. And insert the charging adapter. Here's a comparison between the stick caps. They are very close to the originals. And they fit on the original motherboard too. When you insert them, pay attention to the cut they have on the corners. And finally, it's time to reassemble the controller. If you cannot close the back shell, pay attention to the triggers. They should be moved to the top position like this. And you're done with the installation. You can press the start button to turn on the controller. With this modkit, the sticks are now clickable. And the Z button is slightly louder. There are two pairing modes. B and start enables the D input mode, and Y and start enables the switch mode. In D input mode, the triggers will work as analog triggers, with a digital button in the end of the travel. But on switch mode, it emulates a Pro controller, and the triggers will work as digital triggers only. A small detail is that the gates are not perfectly aligned with the cardinal directions. There is no cardinal snapping, and the center dead zone is quite big. Not that you would use this controller for shooters anyway. The circularity is about the same as the original Pro controller. Testing on the Nintendo Switch, it easily pairs to the console. And the button layout is the same as the original Pro controller. You can press the minus button by holding start and pressing up on the D-pad. And start and down on the D-pad works as the home button. The vibration motors works fine. And it's a perfect controller for playing Smash Brothers. I did a lag test and there is no added latency. And this controller also works with other games that are not compatible with the Gamecube controllers. It doesn't have motion sensors though. Also, it does not have a wake-up function for the Switch. And if you plan to use it with emulators to play your original Nintendo GameCube games, you can be rest assured that it will work fine. But the Bluetooth connection on Android devices is pretty slow, so there is a bit of delay here. The adapter has this weird shape, but it fits perfectly on a Wii. And it fits well on the original GameCube adapter too. I tested the USB port to see if you could use other controllers with a USB Type-C connection, but sadly it doesn't work. But they work wirelessly just fine. I noticed a few problems though. The C-stick was not working. And when pressing the triggers on the GameCube controller, it sometimes dropped the input. This doesn't happen on original GameCube controllers. But thankfully, there is already an update that fixes this. And this is very important To update it, you must use the 8Bitdo Ultimate Software V2. I tried with the original one on the website and got nothing. I'll be leaving the links to the update software in the description. To update the adapter, hold the pairing button while connecting it to your computer. Then the updater will automatically detect the adapter. After updating the adapter, you should also update the controller. This time you should hold Z while connecting it through the USB port on the motherboard. Now the inputs are not dropped anymore, and the C-stick will work correctly. And finally, here's a lag test with the adapter. On my final thoughts, this is another amazing kit from 8Bitdo. It is easy to install and reversible. There's no added latency, it works perfectly with emulators, works perfectly on the Nintendo Switch. It also adds L3 and R3 buttons to the analog sticks. And the adapter supports first-party and third-party controllers too. And the only con that I can think of is that there is no X input mode, meaning that it will be less compatible with some PC games. The gates are also not perfectly aligned with the cardinal directions. It can be a problem with some games, but it won't affect on Smash Bros. Because it automatically corrects the cardinal directions. So it's not a big deal. I'll be leaving the links to the Nintendo 64 and Gamecube Modkits in the description of this video. And that's it for today's video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.